Are you an SDR looking to get promoted to account executive? I've been there. I've worked at Oracle, Google Cloud, and a late-stage startup, and in this video, I'm going to share the 5 tactics that got me promoted from SDR to account executive in a year. But not just any account executive role. One of the best AE roles at Oracle, where I was covering large accounts like AAA and hitting my number halfway through the year, taking 2-hour lunch breaks. Let's get into it. Tactic number 1 is to steal from the best. Identify the top-performing SDRs and account executives at your organization and set up time with them to ask them about their approach to territory management, how they manage their days and weeks, what do they do from a productivity and systems perspective, how do they cold call, how do they cold email, how do they message on LinkedIn, how do they follow up. The best sales are to steal. They don't reinvent the wheel, especially when there are sellers that put in the work and solve the problems you're trying to solve already. They have the proven results. Don't waste your time wandering around in the wilderness. Take what works and implement it to produce your own results more quickly. Beyond having conversations with top performers, if you've got access to call recordings at your organization through technologies like Gong, take advantage of that and spend hours listening to calls, paying attention to what works. Ultimately, whether you're having a conversation directly with a rep who's mentoring you or listening into their Gong calls, make sure to take notes and then implement, translate what you learn into action. You might want to role play and practice what you learn on your own first, but ultimately you need to dive into the arena and put the tactics to the test in action out on the court. Over time, as you follow through, you're going to own the tactics and techniques that you learn, and then you're going to even innovate with them to make them your own and make them better. I had a Harvard business professor and top sales thought leader, Frank Cespedes, on my podcast, and I'll never forget when he said the #1 driver of high performance in business and in sales is modeling behavior. Tactic number 2 is to compress your time and experience by upping your volume and putting in more hours. Regardless of your current skill set, if you play the numbers game, you make more dials, you put in more outbound touch points, you put in more hours, just by the statistical law of averages, you will produce more results and you will get ahead of your peers. More dials, more touches leads to more conversations and more opportunities. It's just that simple. The effort you put into playing the numbers game is completely in your control, and you should be focusing every hour of your workday on money-making activities, playing that numbers game, doing customer-facing outbound touches. That's the activity that moves the needle. And in order to set yourself up to maximize your outbound touches during the workday, you're going to need to prepare like a professional outside of work hours. On the weekends, you should be tuning and optimizing your target account list. You should have your contact data ready for when you make calls during the workday so that you're not scrambling around in a distracted way and you can make more calls. Additionally, outside of office hours and on the weekends, you should be preparing your talk tracks tailored to personas and industries and practicing them, practicing your call scripts, practicing your objection handling so it feels automatic and you're not caught practicing on the court when it's game time. And all of your learning and development to sharpen your skills and sharpen your sales methodology should be done outside of work hours. I want to emphasize this again. If you want to get promoted to account executive faster than your peers and really land the best roles, you need to be putting in time on the weekends. It's a sacrifice that you make today to put in a little extra work that's going to create more freedom for you tomorrow as you quickly elevate to the account executive role. Tactic number 3 is to proactively develop your account executive skills. Deal qualification and discovery skills are key account executive skills that set the tone for the entire sales cycle, and you can start developing those next level skills today as an SDR. In your cold calls, you can stretch yourself to ask a few more discovery questions around BANT, budget, authority, need, and timeline. And when you uncover this information and better qualify the deal up front on your cold call, you can then share this with your account executive to set them up for success, and they're going to love you for that, which is going to play into building your relationship with that account executive and them becoming your biggest hype man or hype woman when it comes time for promotion. They'll put in a good word to your future boss saying, "This SDR SDR, this person actually goes above and beyond to qualify, and they're going to do a great job in the next role as an account executive. Develop your discovery skills by sitting in on your account executive's discovery calls and paying attention to what works, what doesn't, and taking notes. And then take all your notes from shadowing and synthesizing top performers and how they run their discovery calls and translate it into your own discovery call framework, your own discovery call script, and practice that script and that framework on your own. Practice it by role-playing with your peers, and ultimately ask your account executive if you can step up and run some discovery calls for smaller opportunities while they shadow you. And eventually you might even ask them to run your own discovery calls autonomously. Remember, the fastest way to learn and improve any skill in sales is through modeling behavior, which you're doing by learning from the best, but then also to follow through and do. Sales is a performance art, so by running your discovery conversations, you're going to be able to really own the techniques, the tactics, the approaches, and then innovate and make it your own. And if you can go to your future boss and say, hey, I've already run discovery calls and I can walk you through my approach, that is very powerful, and it's going to separate you from your peers and other candidates and make it a no-brainer to hire you. Now, beyond qualification and discovery skills, you're going to want to set time with your account executive mentors to learn about the entire sales process at your organization. You're going to ask them to tell you customer stories and walk you through real-world sales cycles, learning the ins and outs of each stage and even the resistance they were met with along the way and how they navigated all the challenges of the deal to get it done. Imagine when you're meeting with your future boss and they're interviewing you and they have a concern around your lack of closing experience, but then you can respond by telling them that's a valid concern, but I'm happy to walk you through several sales cycles of deals that I sourced that my account executives walk me through in detail. Being able to do something like that is going to instill confidence in your future boss that they can bring you on the team and you're going to transition smoothly and they're not going to have to babysit you. You're ready to go, you're ready to rock, and you're going to deliver. Tactic number 4 is to build internal champions who will elevate you to promotion. It's the people above and beside you at your company that are going to champion you to that AE role. All opportunities are tied to people, and I've seen sellers, including myself, who got promotions over their peers who outperformed them numbers-wise because they had better internal relationships, or what we might call political capital within the sales organization. Of course, hitting your numbers is table stakes to getting promoted, but building strong internal relationships is even more important if you want to get promoted faster to better roles than your peers. You're going to want to turn your manager into your champion by personally getting to know them over time and remembering the details, always bringing that personal touch. You're going to want to manage up and figure out how you can communicate in a way that works for them, how you can create a great experience for them, how you can make their life easier by taking things off their plate over time and running team meetings or maybe developing campaigns that contribute to your peers to make them more successful. Maybe a rep on your team needs a little extra help learning a new process after they just onboarded, and you can ask your manager for where you can help, and maybe you can help them there, and that's an opportunity to take some work off their plate. You're going to want to show your manager you're always thinking about new strategies and ideas and call scripts and things that are going to make you and your peers more successful. And then you want to ask them for guidance on their perspective on the strategy, on their perspective on how you should approach certain things. And then after you get their guidance and show you actively listen, you want to follow through and implement what they share and produce results, and then market those results back to them, being the squeaky wheel and giving them all the credit, saying, hey, I did what you said and look at the results. It got me. Thank you very much. You're the best. And to emphasize one more time, you want to show your manager you're a team player and that you're making an above and beyond effort to help elevate your peers. You're also going to turn your account executive peers into champions and mentors by seeking to understand them personally, their roadmap to success. Remember those little details. Show that you actually care about them holistically. But just as important, or maybe more important, you're going to want to deliver results for them. You're going to want to work with them well and align on joint strategy in the territory. Figure out where they want you to get meetings and then get those meetings. And don't just set meetings, but set qualified meetings where you qualify budget, authority, need, and timeline, and give them that insight ahead of the discovery call to make them look like a hero. Just like with your manager, you're going to want to ask them for guidance. You're going to want to take notes and then translate what you learn into action to produce results that you can market to them while giving them all the credit. You're going to want to ask your account executives about how to develop those next level AE skills. You're going to want to ask them for guidance on how to get promoted. So you're not just getting promoted, but promoted to put yourself in the best positions, like the account executive role I landed covering huge accounts. And you're going to want to ask them for guidance about the best business units and territories to work in as an account executive at your specific company, because every company is different and territory and timing really matters. And you don't want to just get promoted, but promoted to the best roles in the best positions to crush your numbers with less effort and set yourself up to continue to rise up within your organization. As you develop a personal relationship with your account executive, you deliver for them and you turn them into your mentor. When it comes time for promotion, they're going to have primed you to show up at your best, and they're also going to put in a good word to your future boss saying that you're ready and you're the real deal. And speaking of future boss, you're going to want to proactively reach out to your future account executive boss, take some initiative, share your interest in working on their team in the future, and set up some time. And when you have your first conversation with that future boss, you're going to want to run it like a discovery call where you bring a personal touch that makes them feel good, acknowledged, and allows the rest of the conversation where you ask great discovery questions and questions about success in the role and what they look for. The rest of that will flow through a rosy lens after that personal touch. And then you're going to want to close on next steps as well, setting up a communication cadence and rhythm so you can continue to develop that relationship and position yourself to get an edge over other candidates who haven't developed a direct relationship with the AE manager. Here are 4 key questions you need to ask in that first discovery conversation, that first meeting with your future account executive boss. First off, ask them about their roadmap to success. When you get someone talking about their path to success, you're implying that you respect them, it's flattering, and they'll share what made them successful, which probably is what they're looking for in a rep on their team, and will allow you to relate to them and sell yourself as someone who's quite similar, who embodies the characteristics and qualities that made them successful themselves. The second question is really powerful. What can I do to make myself into the most valuable account executive candidate possible for your team? Pay attention, take notes, because the account executive manager is about to give you the answers to the test and is going to tell you the blueprint you need to follow to proactively shape yourself into a candidate they can't help but say yes to. Thirdly, you're going to want to ask them about their concerns with SDRs transitioning to the account executive role. They're going to help you understand the objections you need to prepare to address, like lack of closing experience, that you then can work with your AE counterparts to prepare to proactively address, so that when those objections come in that future AE interview down the road, you handle them with finesse and instill confidence in the hiring manager and remove any barriers to getting that promotion. And the fourth question you're going to ask is whether they'd be open to a quarterly communication cadence where you have a call where you share updates with them on what you're working on, how you're implementing the guidance they gave you to be more successful, and you're building your relationship with them. When you take initiative like this, they are going to say yes. They're going to see you applying the same types of skill sets you would apply after a first discovery call with a prospect, and now you are positioned with a blueprint, a path to success that your peers don't have, and a relationship you're proactively developing, a personal relationship with your future boss that your other peers trying to go for promotion don't have. Proactively turning your future account executive boss into your champion is going to guarantee your promotion. Tactic number 5 is to make a strategic impact. Propose and push to implement solutions that improve the sales experience for your peers, improve processes, and improve the broader customer experience. Making a strategic impact beyond yourself is what will get you promoted at any level in tech sales. In fact, I interviewed Chief Growth Officer of Orem, John Eitel, and he said strategic thinking and strategic impact is what got him promoted from seller to SVP of Global Sales and eventually CRO, and now Chief Growth Officer at Orem. What does making a strategic impact look like as an SDR? Maybe you come up with a cold call script or outbound campaign that's producing results for you consistently that you share with your peers that helps the broader organization get more meetings. Maybe you identify a tool that can improve your efficiency and the efficiency of the broader sales organization that actually saves time and saves money and leads to better sales results. Taking ownership to improve the broader organization, to make a difference beyond yourself, will set you apart from your peers and fast track you to your first account executive promotion and beyond. All right, now you know exactly what to do to fast track your promotion from SDR to account executive. Go take what's yours. But remember, there's a difference between knowledge and actually following through and implementing the knowledge. And there's a lot more nuance beyond what I covered in this video when it comes to following through and executing the tactics that I shared with you today. So if you're looking to fast track your promotion and want the accountability and tailored guidance from a proven seller, a proven coach who's worked at Oracle, Google Cloud, and a late-stage startup to actually help you implement and get the result, Tech Sales Accelerator has helped a ton of SDRs like Alex at Snowflake, Michael at Ramp, and Olivia at a health tech startup accelerate their AE promotion. So if you're ready for that AE promo, I look forward to seeing you on a call and mapping out a plan to help you hit your goals. To your success in tech sales and in life, happy selling and happy living, and we'll see you in the next one.